Hey everyone, Secure Act 2.0 that just passed in December of 2022 gave us some new required minimum distribution ages. Thank you, government, for the second time in 3 years that you're going to update the ages for required minimum distributions. And one weird thing is one age doesn't even start for 10 years. But I'm going to break down it all. I'm going to show the ages. I'm going to show the dates. We're going to go over some history, and stay tuned to the end, where I'm going to go over some planning opportunities and actually show you the new required minimum distribution tables that you're going to use to calculate your required minimum distributions. So let's get into it. Hi everyone, I'm Thatcher Taylor, certified financial planner and owner of ProPath Financial, where I help clients prepare for retirement. This is one of the biggest topics I come into when I'm talking about income distribution retirement is required minimum distributions. The accounts that required minimum distributions apply to are some of the biggest accounts that my clients have. 401ks that have been turned into IRAs or IRAs that have grown over the years. These are usually the biggest accounts that people have. So you really got to be delicate with when we're taking money out of them. But then the IRS says, hey, I want mine. I want you to pay taxes. Enough with the tax deferral. So they incorporate required minimum distributions. And here we are. Now we have some new times that we start required minimum distributions. First, a little bit of history. So in 1986, the Tax Reform Act put RMDs on the map, age 70 and a half. And that's the age that we've known for required minimum distributions literally since 1986, 36 years. And here we are. They just adjusted it in 2022, and they did it with Secure Act 1.0 in 2019. That's what incorporated the age 72 RMD. But now that number's kind of gone away. Now it's updated to 73 and 75. But let's explain it in more detail. All right, so what I'm going to say next already applies to anyone that's turned age 72 last year. So you must take your first required minimum distribution for the year in which you reach age 72. So that was basically last year, 2020 and 2021. But it's funny, they delayed RMDs for 2020, thanks COVID. But it's 73 is the RMD age if you reach age 72 after December 31st, 2022. Now I'm putting this on the screen so you can read through it with me as well. You can also delay taking your first RMD until April 1st of the following year. So if you reach age 72 in 2022, you must take your first RMD by April 1st, 2023, and your second RMD by December 1st, 2023. So that hasn't changed. So all these next ages we're going to go over have that same extension. All right. So if you reach age 72 in 2023, your first RMD for 2024, which is the year you reach age 73, is due by April 1st, 2025. And that's where this gets interesting. Technically, now, the only people that have to worry about the age 72 RMD are people that turned age 72 before January 1st, 2023. Now, it's age 73 or age 75, which we'll get to. It's age 73 if you turn 72 after January 1st, 2023. So this year. So I'm going to put up this image. That all is very confusing. If you didn't catch on, this is going to help. So we're going to talk about the new dates, and here's an image that we're going to go over together. First at the top, age 70 and a half. The only reason I put this up there is just to stay consistent. If you started your RMDs, you were born before July 1st, 1949, you just continue on as normal. For age 72, you had to be born July 1st, 1949 to 1950. That is what applies to age 72 RMDs. So it's just that weird window because of Secure Act 1.0 from 2019. Age 73 is the big one. If you're born between 1951 and 1959, most likely your RMD is going to be in the year that you turn age 72. The last age is age 75 if you're born 1960 or later. That's where it gets interesting with the date, or the year, I should say, of 2033. So for those who turn age 74 after December 31st, 2032, which again is born on or after January 1st, 1959, the first RMD is age 75. So that's where it's very unique with how this is set up. But really what you need to know right now is if you turn age 72 from here on out, your RMD age is going to be 73. Okay, so let's go over some RMD tables. Okay, so this is from the IRS website. This is from publication 590 on the IRS website. We're going to scroll down. You can use this worksheet to help calculate your required minimum distributions. But what we're focusing on are the life expectancy table. Now there's 3 tables, table 1, table 2, and then the uniform table, essentially table 3. Table 1 is a single life expectancy that's to be used for beneficiaries. Most likely it doesn't apply to you, but if it does, this is the table you use. We got to keep scrolling. This is table 2 for joint life and last survivor expectancy, and this is for use by owners whose spouses are more than 10 years younger and are the sole beneficiaries of their IRAs. This is a long table because you have to cross-reference up here ages and ages. So you have to use this and cross-reference your spouse's age if they're more than 10 years younger than you. We got to keep going. There's a lot of these. This is a big one. Table 2 is a lot, but it's all in here if you need it. These are all the divisors. So these numbers in the middle, if you cross-reference these divisors are what you use to divide your year-end balance of all your IRAs. That's the calculation for your required minimum distributions. Here's a video on how to calculate your required minimum distributions. Table 2, we're still going. Yeah, so there's a lot about table 2. So you got to find your age and your spouse's age, and you got to cross-reference them to find your divisor. Still going, man. Here's table 3. Table 3 is the uniform table. It's the most common table. It's for use by unmarried owners, married owners whose spouses aren't more than 10 years younger, and married owners whose spouses aren't the sole beneficiary of their IRAs. This is what's going to be most common. You can see age 72 is on here, but age 73, 74, and 75. This most likely will be updated a little bit over time, but this is what is in publication 590 and will be used right now. So if you are age 73 and your required minimum distribution is due, you got to use the prior year balance of all your IRAs and divide that number by 26.5, and that's the number that needs to be distributed and put on your tax return. Okay, so let's go over some planning opportunities with these changes in RMD ages. First, this delay allows those of you who are doing Roth conversions to continue down that path. So Roth conversion is taking money out of your IRA, paying the taxes on it, and converting that money to a Roth IRA and utilizing that money as a tax-free bucket of future income from here on out. Roth conversions are a really good strategy to reduce taxable income in retirement. And if you're using the strategy properly, this allows you a couple more years to do those conversions if it fits your particular situation. So that's the first planning opportunity. The second planning opportunity is now you get to avoid RMDs for a couple more years. So your tax brackets, in theory, could be a little bit lower because what happens is those RMDs, a lot of people don't need them. So you have to do that distribution and put that money in your tax return and increase your tax bill, which increases your expenses on an annual year. You need to be careful when the RMDs come, but you get a little breather now. But if the RMDs stay in, that means more money could be getting growth and you could have a bigger pot of money that you got to calculate that RMD off of. So it's just planning around that could be very valuable. Lastly, qualified charitable distributions. One thing that didn't change with Secure Act 2.0 was age 70 and a half still is the age where you can start to implement qualified charitable distributions. Here's a video about qualified charitable distributions, but in a nutshell, you can utilize up to $100,000 of your IRA on an annual basis. You can distribute the funds and give it to a qualified 501c3 charity directly to the charity. There's a specific process. It's got to go directly to the charity of your choosing, and you don't have to put that on your tax return. So utilizing qualified charitable distributions, if you're charitably inclined, could be a really valuable planning opportunity during these couple of years that you don't have to do required minimum distribution and pay the taxes yourself. As always, our government and our IRS likes to make this very complicated. But with a good planning opportunity, good strategy, good advisor, good CPA, you can navigate this very easily and still make it worthwhile. If you have any questions or you need help with actual financial planning, you can reach out to me below. I'm happy to help. But if you're not interested, go down below, listen to the podcast, and sign up for the newsletter so you can get continuous retirement planning information. Stay tuned to the next video. Thanks for watching.